everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dancer, professional dance choreographer, and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And we are taking a look at the Subleader class rank mission from the first season of Street Man Fighter. It is one where I do believe Wu-Tae is the winner for this one, and I know it is his choreography that is chosen, so I do know that going in. And I already looked through everybody else's choreographies, and I had so many things to say. Like, I loved so many components of so many people's choreos, and I'm very much looking forward to how everybody takes on Wu-Tae's choreos in particular, because I have learned choreography from him. I learned Woman from Street Woman Fighter Season 2, and so when I saw his choreography, if I were in the shoes of these members, I probably would not have voted for it. Not because of the quality, but because I think how stable he already is and how difficult his grooves are to replicate. I think he would have a higher chance versus myself. Like, I wouldn't feel like it'd be even playing field. But of course it never really is. But that would be my strategy of going with somebody that I feel like I could put in my own pocket through their movement, so I feel competitive in some way, you know. But once again, I'm just here as more of a participant, or just looking over these just from the lens, from my scope that I personally have, but it's all in good fun. So let's go ahead and let's get started. All right, our first one, all day 1 mil YGX. We have We Done Boys. Here we go. Boys is forgetting it. I will say, I said it in the last video, he had probably my favorite choreography I've ever seen from any class rank mission analysis, but I wouldn't have picked it because of how difficult it would have been to replicate for myself. Okay, we got to see it again. Here we go. Man, it is unfortunate that he struggled to kind of remember it, but these guys are doing a good job holding it down. I think YGX is holding it down pretty good. All Day's taking that feminine approach. I like it. But sometimes when you do that, it doesn't come across as full as it needs to for the particular choreography that you're given. I would say, yeah. Ooh. 1 mil's doing really good too. Yeah. Okay, so if I were to, I mean, I know it's all in good fun. If I were to pick who I would have had in the finals, like if they did a callback, I would have picked my guy from 1 mil for sure. I think YGX held it down very well. He was pretty forgetful, and you could tell that some of these pockets and these grooves were a little bit not foreign, but he wasn't comfortable with them, and so you could tell when he started to get uncomfortable in a transition or in a move sequence. But I think, because I remember seeing his choreo from 1 mil, and he had a lot of these intricacies and hit the music not in a similar pattern, but he did choose a similar approach of attack like Wu-Tae did in his choreo. And so I think he was operating at more of an advantage than most of the other people because of what he was already exposed to with the song. And I think that may have helped him be able to get the retention a little bit better because he was already familiar with how to approach it. And then I would say my dancer from All Day, I think I really like his vibe. All Day, I would say, out of all the crews, I think they're probably one of my favorites, just in general, because of how their energy. You know, I love whenever we see them in the outtakes, or whenever I saw them in their crew previews. I really like their energy in their crew previews, and I think that's why they were set on such a good first step for me, and I always want to root for them too, you know. And yeah, and I love the fact that their choreo was chosen for one of the class ranks, because it was just so enjoyable to watch everybody try to go after it, and they were so good in their own right in that. So now looking here, so when we take a look, I think I've already kind of just gleaned over my initial thoughts of watching what we just saw. Very clear. I will say the one thing that could possibly work against our dancer for 1 million is his range of just bleeding through the grooves. But also I know Wu-Tae didn't do that 100% either, and I haven't seen Wu-Tae do it. So I don't know what in particular he added to this that made it so Like, did he add that kind of sensual griminess to his movement on top of what he already has shown us? I don't know. But that would be just my one thing, is that he didn't go super full in the range. I like YGX. I really like his approach to that beginning. It's very, very groovy and fun and clear. That da 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 da. I'm mad impressed that they're holding it down. Dun 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 dun. I will say with my dancer from YGX, that second one, when he slid through, it kind of looks more legato and then he finished it, versus really committing to both sides. You know, he kind of went over it, he committed, and the second one was more legato and then he lightly tapped. So it's just little baby details like that can make a huge difference in who gets selected or not in these cases. I liked how he still held on, my guy from We Dem Boys. I will say with my dancer from All Day, he is keeping a more proper kind of posture, right? And whenever he's approaching it, so I like his retention and I like his attack to it, but a lot of times he's not, because of his posture he's trying to maintain, it's not allowing him to explore his wide range of the kinesphere that he has. You know, it just feels, he wants to keep it very like, the posture can be limiting, just like when Prime Kings, when they have a crump posture, that can be very limiting when they have to go more extroverted in a legato sense or in a feminine sense. It's really hard for them to do that. I think he's operating in a different problem where he is in that posture where the feminine, it works for the track, but some of the groups that Wu-Tei has, it's a hybrid of both, and that's why it's so hard. It is. That's why I wouldn't have picked it for myself, because it would have taken me way longer than a day to learn it comfortably to where I could feel like myself. And that's the hardest thing too, is they need to be able to showcase themselves as artists, but it's really hard when it's a style that you may not be comfortable in, you know? So that's just my big note with that. But I like, it's just very, it is strong, but it's not, there's no depth into the strength, right? There's no diversity in the strength that is used. I think that's what I want to, I think that's what I'm going to lock in as like my official note for All Day, is there's no diversity in that, in how they choose to be strong. Because I can tell an All Day dancer, like from the crew, and I think that's so cool that a crew has their artistic presence so proficient like that, but that can also operate at a disadvantage because this isn't his choreo. Do you know what I'm saying? And and so he has to learn how to understand other people's movement perspectives, and that's honestly the most humbling thing. And I've had to experience it more times than I care to admit. There's just the amount of humility I've had to express for myself in these processes. I can't imagine. I would be just like him. I have blanked out more in small groups than I could tell you, so I really empathize with him here. But remember, I have to stay objective, and I can't just overly present my empathy, and I can't just sit here and be like, oh, everyone's great, everyone's awesome. Everyone is great and awesome, but you also have to remember, part of why I know you guys like to watch these is because I'm realistic in the sense of like, this is what each person could do better. This is what every person brings to the table that is good. Everybody has great qualities, and everyone has qualities to work on in these scenes. And I know sometimes I just have more to talk about with more people than others, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, you know? But just know that I'm speaking to myself on so many things that I point out here. I am just like him. I really am. I blanked out. I would have blanked out on this. I don't even think I would have made it that far. Now, would I be able to do this choreography? I really feel like I would be able to do this choreography comfortably. Probably not in the time frame that I was given with the amount of pressure, but I absolutely love it. And part of it is the desirability to want to learn it too. Like, I have the desire to learn it, but other factors may have made me not want to dive in as eloquently as I feel other ones were able to. Yeah, now it looks like YG, he's taking more of that like laid back approach because his torso's not quite as engaged in it as much. That's what I like about doing both takes, is you get to see pros and cons of doing it twice. Pros is that if you make a mistake, you get to fix it the second time. Cons is you can show that you're tired doing it again. Yeah. No, so we fixed it. So my guy from YGX fixed his feet that second time, and I would say I really love his approach. It's a very, very masculine approach, which is different, and it's full and it matches well. And I'm actually expecting Prime Kings to take that approach too. But everybody's particular way of interpreting it is really nice. And I think everybody's doing a good job in the way they could, you know. But I do know it is unfortunate that my guy from Weed and Boys, he had such a freaking great choreo. But he just struggled through this one. And not saying that he's not able to do it, just probably in the time frame or the pressure. Sometimes you blank and that happens, you know. But we have four more people to look at, so let's do it. Okay, we have J-Ho, Wu-Tae, Busy B. So we got Prime Kings and B2B on the outside, and then we have J-Ho and Wu-Tae in the middle. Whoa. J-Ho is not playing on this. I love how J-Ho did that so much. He did a fantastic job. I love the choices he made, for real. Wu-Tae did it very well. Of course, he's the choreographer. He's so sharp, so strong. But how J-Ho did it... I love the fact these are side by side too. So there's certain qualities that my guy from YGX and then my guy from 1mil did that I really liked, and I wish Wu-Tae himself did. And it was the over dip, like just the usage of the full range of motion, you know. And I feel like certain ways that they hit it had like a really nice strength, a different type of strength behind it, and it wasn't just hitting the sound. But like, so I know with Prime Kings, he really has limited, he has a really limited mobility. Just kind of just look where his position is here comparison to everybody else. They have a wider stance. They're using their knees. He's kind of keeping it up in the upper body. So I can tell he's very uncomfortable with it. And then also a lot of with B2B2, I really feel like he's just trying to get through the choreography here, which I totally understand. When you're really uncomfortable doing a style, just making it through is honestly a fabulous goal in and of itself. It really is. And so I'm proud of everybody attempting this. But I will say I love J-Ho's fullness of the movement. I will say, like, Wu-Tae does provide a sense of it's very clear, everything that he's hitting. J-Ho has a groove that he's adding into this that I love and makes it feel more full. Like, I want a hybrid of J-Ho and Wu-Tae, and I think that would be, with a couple little nuances from YGX, I think that would be, like, the perfect run. Yeah, there's a chance that maybe J-Ho, like, they didn't like how big he went, you know, and that fullness down, but I really like how he approached it. A lot. That how he's just boom, 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 boom. Like, that's so full. Very captivating. Yeah, and Wu-Tae's just going ham. Like, he is doing a fabulous job. Boom, doom, doom, doom. Like, he's very consistent both times. And they get to kind of do their own thing. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think Wu-Tae was the one chosen as the winner, but I would have voted J-Ho personally as the one who did, like, I really love how J-Ho approached the choreo a lot. Because it was clean, and Just Jerk's always known for being very clean. It was strong and it was groovy. I would say the only limitation from it was probably some of his upper body probably wasn't as clear in execution as it could have been. I also wonder, because he's next to Wu-Tae, and I'm assuming they knew that Wu-Tae choreographed it, that some of the discrepancies of the arms affected the cleanliness of what he brought to the table, if that makes sense. But also, people change choreo a lot, or they change certain aesthetics a lot, and it normally works in their favor. So I don't know what they were thinking there. Here's the deal. Wu-Tae getting it, this is his choreo, and he's doing a fabulous job doing his stuff. J-Ho is exceeding expectation and doing so good in this. Because he's using his plie and using the bend of the knee and using his torso, and he's filling up the music all the way through. Yeah. Yeah, I actually like both of them, and I think it was a straight preference choice of who they picked, you know? They both were great. Like, I love how they both chose to interpret it. Like, if you cover up one and you watch the other, like, they both look great doing it. I will say this, I think it's because, it could just be because it was the first time I actually saw Wu-Tae's choreo. I really liked how he did it in the, like, rough draft performance in the choreo selection. I really liked that. It was clean. It was cool. It was, but I know here you add that extra level of adrenaline. I liked his first run, very strong. It has this kind of level of eruption. It feels like an erupted volcano almost. Yeah. Yeah, just that little discrepancy. If you see here, he's going here with the fist when Wu-Tae is going with here. Right? So there's that little detail, and that he did twice, so that was a change he made. I love that. Yeah. Let me see this. J-Ho changed the timing of it, I think is what he did. That ending, he threw it up at the end, and I wonder if that was treated like his timing was off. Oh, let me see. You know what? Now it makes me wonder. Did he do that the second time? He did. So, I'm going to be honest. I feel like I would make that change myself as well, because how he changed it onto the music is exactly how I hear it. And how Wu-Tae, he extends the arms up like a count or a sound before, and J-Ho holds it up. It gets its own sound, and then he throws it. So he took his own risks. Honestly, he changed the timing of that ending ever so slightly. He changed it, dropped it. It looked very cohesive. I think that was awesome. I loved that. So honestly, out of everybody, I think Wu-Tae absolutely deserved it. He owned his own choreo. But honestly, if they picked J-Ho, I would have had zero qualms with that as well. I think J-Ho really rose to the challenge, and I love some of his choices he brought. They were phenom. And and going back to the choreography selection, I picked J-Ho's choreo. I would have opted for his, even though it reads more choreography to me, like backup for the artist, and this challenge is more so like letting the dancers in the forefront as the concept. I really like J-Ho's approach to this choreography, and I like his fluency of understanding choreography to make choices as needed, and he can really be refined and strict and precise, but also have such a groove and a presence. It's very diverse of him, and definitely I think he made Just Jerk proud with that representation there for sure. That was awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I was helpful in some way. I've really enjoyed this. I love this series. This has been awesome, and I look forward to catching you guys on the flip side on the next one. Bye.